Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how to make a complete Hibernate application using the reverse engineering process. You can just watch all the steps and then you can try the same thing in your computer. Now first when you start your Hibernate, if you don't see these services, you can just go to window and you can click here in services and then you can see the services. I'll first go here and then I can make a database. So for example, I will just make a new database and I'll start the server first. Now for example, I'm making this database name as students, giving username and password. You can see it is creating the database. Now this is my new database, so now I can just connect it and then I can go ahead and make a table here. So for example, this table I'm just making as student table. Here I can write student ID, then I can make it integer and make it primary key. If I have a primary key, I can easily retrieve my data, and also the data will be unique, so it's better to make primary key. Then I will make another one, student name. I can make it varchar. Can give it some size. Okay. We will have one more, city. This much is okay for us. Now you can see your table here. In this table I can have some data. I can execute this. And then I can insert one more here. So now I have two records here. If you want to see, you can just go here and view the data, or you can also write query to view the data. Here you can see these are the two records I have in my table. So now let's go ahead and make Hibernate application. I want to make it a simple desktop application for now. It's a basic console application. Not making a web app right now. Now you can go here and add the library for making Hibernate application. You can go here, library, you can add the libraries of Hibernate and persistence. You can click here. Okay. Now I can go ahead and make Hibernate configuration file here. You can make here your Hibernate configuration file. You can connect with this table, this database for now, students, and then you can go for finish. Yeah, you can see all the properties came here, so it's nice. You can just see here the code as well. Yeah. If I would like to add more properties, I can just go here and add those properties which we need. Like for example, we can have the session context class, make it thread. Then you can go to configuration, and then you can add the show SQL, so that if there is something wrong with our SQL execution, we can see, and it will show us all the SQL queries in your output console. Fine. Now this much is okay for us, so you can just save it. And then next we can go and make our reverse engineering. You can see this table, you can add it. You need to add it if you want to use this table. Then you can finish. Now this is my Hibernate reverse engineering file. Now let's go and make the POJO and the mapping file from the database. So we can go here in our Hibernate and we can choose this Hibernate mapping files and POJOs from the database. We can go ahead. And then here you can just write a package name. Here if you can see that if you click on this, it will generate the domain class, the POJO for you. And if you click on this, it will generate the Hibernate mapping file for you. Now I need both of them, so I can just go ahead with them. If you want to make use of annotation, then you can select this option as well. Okay, so let's finish and see our class and the Hibernate mapping file. You can go here and you can see this is your POJO class for the student table, and this is the mapping file which is mapping this class in this package test.student to the table student. Now I can just go ahead and I can close them. I don't need now. Now here I will make a Hibernate util in this package. So we can just go ahead and make a Hibernate util class, which is, as I told you, you can see this also creates a Hibernate utility class that enables easy retrieval of Hibernate session objects. So if we use this class, it is a helper class which will help you to easily get the session related objects from your configuration file. Now let's make this name as util only and create it in this test package, so that everything will be in the same package. There will be no package related issues here. Now your Hibernate util is created. If you see here, it is creating a session factory object, and then this configure method will help you to get the session factory data from the Hibernate configuration file. If you see the configuration file, you have session factory here. So it will load this data by the use of Hibernate util class. Now after that, what we want to do in this program is we just want to show some values from our table based on some condition. So let's go ahead and make a method where we can write our condition. So just write public string and then get details. Then here first we can make our session with the help of the Hibernate util class. So you can take help of Hibernate util class, and then you can use the get session factory, get current session. So now you can just import the package. Then we want to use transaction here. Have a transaction. First you can make it null. We can use it later. Import the package. Now in this program I want to get value from my database, so I will use iterator. Have a reference of iterator. Now import. So everything has to be imported. And now we want to get the values from our database, but in Hibernate, as I told you before, we will write HQL, and HQL works only on the class, not on the database table. So here we will make an object of the class, and then whatever data we are getting from the database, we will store it in that object. So let's make an object. And then let's start our connecting codes. So we can just retrieve data from our database. So first I will begin this transaction. So I can just write session dot this name is student. Then after you begin your transaction, you can have a query. Now in this query I will get data from my table, and as it is HQL query, so we will write it on the class that we have. So here my class name is student, which is mapped to this table student. So we can just write from. Here there is no select star, only from in HQL, and after that you can write your class name. Everything here you're just going to use Hibernate query language. Then you can write what you want to see. Now for example, I want to see the data based on the student ID. So I can write here from student, where student ID, see, student ID equal for example you can write some name, and then you can import the package for query. Then you can write query dot set, because we are going to take help of our ID, so it is integer. So you can write integer, and then you can write your parameter for, like here we wrote SID, so we will write the same thing here, and then here you can link it with your student ID of this class. Now it can get value from this, from the object of the class. Now we can commit the transaction. Let's go to the catch. Here you can show the exceptions. You can roll back the transaction. So now our method is complete. I can just call this method and show output. Now you need to write the return, and then you can return this name and the city. Make the message a little better. So now it's complete. Now you can just go and make a class and use it. So I'll make a class, Java class. You can give it some name, application or any other name, which will have the main method and creating the object there. Now you can see here your class name is student, so you can just make an object here. This is part of a different package, so you need to import the package as well. And this time I want to retrieve the value based on this ID. So here I can use the constructor which comes with the ID. I can just write this. And now I can see some ID, or I can make it better. Okay, let's import first. We can have a scanner class. Now you can import, and then you can have a system out print that enter the ID, and then you can store the ID int ID equal sc dot next int, and then we can pass this ID in our constructor. Now it will be linked, and then from this constructor you can see this the ID that you are passing in the constructor will go to the instance variable of the class here, and then later you are going to use this data in your method getDetails method here. Then this will give us the value, and we can get the values here, and then we can just show the output from here. So now just we will call this method. Get details. And now this is going to return a string, so you need to put it in system out print, and that's it. So now you can just run your program. If everything is fine, so it will give us the desired output from our table. Now you can just go and see we have one ID 1001 and 1002. For example, now I want to see 1002. Okay. Now you can see, name is Wang, city is Beijing. So this is how you can make your program with the help of the reverse engineering, and it will be easy. Just be careful that you put this Hibernate util and your generated Pojo and the mapping in the same package, so it will be easier for you to work with them. Fine, so you can now try it in your computer. Good luck.